Hello and shalom, friends. This is Mayim Vega, and I'd like to take a moment to introduce a wonderful guest who truly embodies strength, resilience, and holistic healing. Bethan Mary Thompson is nothing short of a warrior. As a spiritual health and wellness coach, she has dedicated her life to empowering others through a holistic approach to health that integrates mind, body, and spirit. And Bethan's journey has been one of transformation, overcoming personal challenges and emerging as a beacon of hope for those seeking to live in alignment with their true purpose. Her passion for helping others heal both spiritually and physically is evident in everything she does. And today, she's here to share her wisdom, her story, and her insights on how we can all embrace wellness in every area of our lives. So please join me in welcoming Bethan Mary Thompson.
Good evening. Hello, everybody, and thank you for having me on your show today. I'm so happy to be here to share some insights to help people in their health and wellness journeys.
Thank you. Thank you for spending the time to talk to me. So, we're on different time zones. I'm over here in America on the central time zone in Texas. Where are you located at?
Yes, I'm here in Cardiff in the UK, in South Wales, and it's nighttime here. And we are in autumn at the moment, although it feels like winter already, I think, in some places with floods. But the world climate is like going crazy, as we all know. And I think this year has really taken its toll on people mentally and their wellness. So wellness is so important, I think.
Yes, and climate is a very important part of that, and getting sunshine, and if that's not easy to do, getting at least vitamin D is extremely important for mental and physical health. And it's interesting. I have a friend who's a holistic doctor, and he was talking about how everything that we need actually comes from the sun. Like even whether it comes from plants when we're eating vegetarian or we're eating meat, ultimately they get their energy from the sun. And there's a story about this man, I forgot his name, who only like drank liquids and looked at the sun for nutrition. And he got his nutrition, I think it was I don't, there's a specific time of day when it's very optimal to actually get energy from the sun. And I don't want to say it wrong, because I don't want people to do it the wrong way, because it can hurt your eyes if you don't do it correctly. But yeah, absolutely, it's very interesting. So here I wanted to interview you specifically for our Women's Health Summit, because I was looking for people who could talk about their experience and how they dealt with menopause or menstrual issues, UTI, and varicose veins in a holistic, natural way, using nutrition, herbs, lifestyle like getting out in the sun and exercise, and also mindset, which includes both personal and spiritual and relational aspects. So where does your story begin?
Well, I was 9 years old, and I was having trouble with my periods. I was a rape victim, unfortunately, from a family member. And I went for tests, and then I was diagnosed with endometriosis. So from an early age, I never knew where I was going to come unwell. So I always had to have, the pads with me and the Tampax. And, even when I went to college, the lecturer, I was in the toilets with a friend, and they thought I was drunk, but I wasn't. I was in pains. But I used to come home, and my mum would give me a hot water bottle, a Panadol, just one little aspirin, and then I would go to bed and sleep. But it was such a low dose at that time, and it was only when I was really in pain. But as I got older, I knew to exercise, and I knew had to drink plenty and to eat well, and sleep. Sleeping was a really important thing, and to rest. And often I would sleep in the day. Then, I would come home from school, and I did have an accident in a class once, which at that time, it's a lot better now, but I remember sitting at the back and having such a pain and not feeling very well at all and not speaking up. But I think now it's important that if you are unwell and in school, to tell somebody so that you can go to the toilet, because at that time they didn't let me go to the toilet, and I did wet myself and it was really unpleasant. And for a long time, children can be very cruel. So, and that's important that they have that support now, that it isn't something to be ashamed of, because it's something that you live with and you have to learn to live with it for the rest of your life, even as you come through, as we spoke earlier about, coming through to the menopause. Now, I'm just gone 60 and it doesn't go away. It's a life disease, a life health condition that you live with, but you can live with it without having things. And I still find that even though I'm going through the menopause, is that, if the best thing in the world is hot water bottles.
Are you talking about douches?
Hot water bottles, when you've got a hot water bottle to go to bed.
Oh, you're just talking about applying it next for
applying
the
the heat,
right.
Applying heat and keeping the warmth around you, especially at a particular level, whichever side of the ovary is that you're suffering.
Okay, awesome. So if just in case people don't know, endometriosis is a painful condition in which tissue from the uterus attaches itself to other organs. And this uterine tissue may appear in the fallopian tubes or the ovaries, or it can implant itself in the outer walls of the uterus. And in rare cases, the tissue travels outside the pelvic region and appears in organs like the bladder or the lung and other areas. So it can be really serious. And some symptoms that people have if they have endometriosis, we don't really cover it much in the Women's Summit, but some of the symptoms are pain in the abdomen and the lower back, associated with
you can have
bloatedness, pain with sexual intercourse, prolonged or excessive menstrual bleeding, digestive problems, nausea and vomiting, anemia, infertility, also pain with urination and bowel movements.
Yeah, I used to have it all. And I used to have regular checks and that, and it's quite good. If they do start to have the symptoms, I think it's good to have a bit of a journal now, because we've got far more equipment, technology that we can monitor these things, so you can see the patterns for yourself, for your temperature and everything else.
Yeah, and certainly water is very important. What else did you do for the endometriosis?
I think the main thing is that to keep a well-balanced diet, to make sure that you're eating the right foods, because sometimes certain things aggravate. And know that the exercise, what you can do, because you can do too much exercise in some points, and that can I would find that I would walk from my house, which is quite a way, down to the pub in those days. You didn't have the buses and that, but I would know that the next day, I would guarantee either I would come unwell in the night or in the morning, because I'd walked there and back, because it was quite a way. So it's like monitoring that exercise. But I used to read a lot and I used to rest, and I still find that if you feel that tiredness, that I would just sleep, because sleep, curl up on the sofa, put the TV on and your radio and that, and just rest your body, because your body needs time to rest and heal, without, because there's too many, as we know, them giving, tablets for this, tablets for that, and can actually aggravate it more.
Yes.
So I didn't take, I was offered the pill and I took 4, and in the end I couldn't, because my body rejected it. and I didn't take any tablets. I stepped away from that, and I never took any tablets. Very rarely did I take any.
Yeah, you're very holistic minded and you are very intuitive and you listen to your body. And that's really great. And that's really one of the important things that a lot, health coaches teach their clients, right? And of course, eating organic foods, you mentioned healthy eating organic foods as much as possible. Um, uh, Due to the estrogenic effects of pesticides and hormone laden meats. So, I mean, I'm not vegetarian or vegan, but I do try to get good quality meat, when I do eat meat, organic, grass fed, kosher, because I'm Jewish, etc. Also, there's been research that shows that a gluten free diet can also improve pelvic pain in like 70% of women with endometriosis. I think that becomes more important here in America because in the UK and in Europe, you have a lot better regulation, with bad food, which America has yet to catch up
Yeah, I
with,
think that
unfortunately.
um, I think what's happening though is because we were talking about it the other day, is because of the cost of living with everything, the people are buying fast foods and that, and we've all done it because you want to go out and buy the fresh veg, you want to go and buy the things, but because of the cost of living the way it is at the moment with the world and that, people are struggling. So you've almost got to think and really like as a family, if you've got a sister or a wife or or a mother and that, and you are making meals, if they come to your home and that, think about what meals you're going to have, and when you're planning your shopping, is is to try as much as you can. You can have like takeaway on the Saturday or the Sunday, or things, but to try at some point to have the goodness of that food in, so that it doesn't aggravate it anymore. Because as you say, if it aggravates, then you are going to get the anemia. My tiredness goes up and down even now, and you have to be very careful, because that can also, as you get older, lead to the UTIs and lead to
Yes.
water infections.
Yeah, it can all be related because, it's all down there. They're very close to each other, those organs. And I think that's really good that you're talking about the junk food and the fast food. I think there's this belief that it's easier, quicker, maybe even cheaper to, eat the junk food. But the truth is, it's so much more expensive in the end to be eating that junk food because it costs you your health, costs you a shortened lifespan, it costs you energy, it costs you a weaker immune system.
Yeah.
So it's junk
It's
food.
quick fixes, isn't it? We all like pizza, but I can't eat. I can't eat pastry. And my brother, actually, who lives in Australia, he's the same. We both love sausage rolls, but if I went to a party, I know that I could only eat one or two. And when I'm going to live events, if we're going to live networks or things, I'm very conscious when there's food there, because I went to one the other day and I was like, really can't eat it. It's
Yeah,
just, and that then
I'd
you
feel
have to
better
be
if I
very
fasted,
disciplined.
right? Yeah, I like to keep on hand things like dried fruit and almonds and stuff like that. That's the real fast food that doesn't
I have ginger
also.
biscuits normally and crackers and
Yeah,
crackers and that. We used to have like jam sandwiches with my mum at stupid hours in the morning and that. But it was fine because her eating plans were all over the place and that. With dementia, because like they obviously, as you know, people think that it's day or night, so that in the middle of the night you think it was morning, so we'd have that sandwiches. So I would have to be very strict in my eating at that time, and it takes time to reverse it back to the way it should be.
yeah, yeah, definitely. So sorry, excuse me. Another thing that I want to talk about in terms of eating, like um, uh, lots of cold water fish, like salmon, tuna, and mackerel. are also really good, not just for endometriosis, but for a lot of different health issues, because they have really good essential fatty acids. And these are things that are used by our body to reduce inflammation and pain. So, you could take also flax seeds, also have these good essential fatty acids. And you should definitely eat it with water. And flax seeds are also good for balancing estrogen levels, which is important for hormones, whether it's endometriosis or menstrual issues or even menopause. It's good for all sorts of things. How about caffeine?
Oh,
How do you?
caffeine is like a bit, I think working from home is very difficult, but we were talking about, strangely enough, everyone's got a kettle. You've got a kettle, I've got a kettle. Now mine is just gone, for example, and now I'm seeing a really difference is that people like, because they're working from home, you've got to reduce the caffeine, and I do try and do that. But the new kettles that have come, they've got a thing on it which says that you can have like peppermint tea in the middle of the day, for example, your herbal tea. So, and I know lots of seniors from my church have started, like one of the ladies that I know is they're having that instead of having coffee in the afternoon, they're having a herbal tea. So say they have a tea and biscuit at 3 o'clock and they're having this herbal tea. Well, these new kettles that are coming out now for us, like the Ninjas, which are all over the world, are, I've got a choice. I can either go to the supermarket and I could buy the £20, you could buy the £20 kettle, and you can put that on and you can put your coffee and you can put your coffee in that, but that's just gonna up your level and up your level and up your level. And it just makes you more thirsty.
Yeah,
But
I
if
think.
you use one of those new ones and you put into your routine that you're going to have your breaks, whether they come home from school or whatever, the time that they have that herbal tea or hot water or, something that's not coffee, even between our meetings and you've just got to put that routine into the family routine and into your own routine, so that like when you're getting ready for bed, you've got that hot chocolate rather, the proper hot chocolate that's the right one, like Horlicks.
A good
Pension
quality, a good quality. There's a way to make hot chocolate that's healthier than, the
Velvetizer. I bought
carnation
the
packets or something
first,
like that.
yeah, about over a year ago, I actually indulged in buying a Velvetizer, and it's the best thing that I bought, because actually, even if you haven't got the proper chocolate in the house, you can put your oatmeal milk, your almond milk in there, and you can stick it in there for a second, put your normal, like, cheap chocolate from the supermarket and that, and then just before you go to bed, that is better than having a cup of tea sometimes, especially when you want to sleep.
A velvetizer? I've never heard
Yeah,
of
it's
a
like a
velvetizer.
kettle, but it's called a chocolatier velvetizer.
Okay. Well,
I will send you a picture.
okay. So like real raw cacao is actually high in caffeine. I gave my children a cacao smoothie from raw cacao once,
Yeah,
and they were just.
you can make them, because I saw on there was one of the Real Housewives of Dubai. They were having the cacao and the hot chocolate for their mindset, and that's the same. You can buy the cacao and you can like use whichever milk you want, because there's a lot of people that like my niece likes soya milk and that, because she's lactose intolerant, and I prefer sometimes to have that soya thing. A lot of women have coconut water, with their coffee or things and that. So you can mix it up with your diet for what you like, but you can also build it into that routine, so you're not having that caffeine fix all the time, because it doesn't really help your hydration.
Oh, but that's what I'm saying though, is that cacao also has caffeine. chocolate has caffeine, especially the more raw it is. So, you know, if maybe I wouldn't give my children hot chocolate at night unless I wanted them to stay up a little bit for a
Yeah,
little bit.
but there's low fat ones and that, and there's all special. These are special ones. If you look, that they are really fine, and that it's like it's not like hot chocolate that I've ever had before.
Right. And then coffee also, coffee, the coffee bean actually has a lot of antioxidants, very high in antioxidants. And it's the primary source that Americans get antioxidants from is because they drink so much coffee. But you know, there is that side effect of keeping you up, keeping you wired. So I would say that, you know, if you are going to drink coffee, it should be in the daytime, you know, not towards the afternoon or evening. And yeah, just like you said, do the teas, herbal teas and things like that instead. Okay, so can we move on? Is it okay to move
Yeah,
on to
sure.
menopause? That was the second thing that you mentioned. May I ask, if you don't mind, how old you are?
Yeah, I was 60 in May this year.
Okay, and what at what age did your, I guess, perimenopause symptoms begin?
To be honest, I don't know, it just becomes part of your life. I think that no one really talked about it, you know? I mean, my mum had a hysterectomy, so she didn't actually go through that at all. Um, and she taught me that it was just part of life and that, you know, it was just, and when I went for my test, when I had my scans for endometriosis, and, you know, I was having a few problems in the bowel and the abdomen, and they wanted to check everything was okay. And the woman said, you know, that, you know, you are going through the menopause and, or you're starting. And she said, you know, don't worry about, you know, a couple of months and you can forget the pads and everything. And I didn't really think about it. I had a few headaches and I get the temperature things. I must be honest, I've noticed it a little bit more in the last year, but I think that's because, as we said earlier, we haven't had as much sun and been outside as much as I would like, because I actually like being outside in fresh air, even when it's a bit autumn, to, you know, because I've been restricted, I've had a fall on crutches. But normally I spend time outside so that I can control my temperature.
That's great. That, and you know what? It seems so simple and easy, and it really is, but it's so hard to, I think, especially, you know, if you live in the city, to get that discipline to go outside. I think that's one of the biggest challenges that a lot of us have. And I think, you know, it seems like you've had a very smooth menopause. I think one of the reasons is because your mother trained you that you know, it's a natural part. It's not something that you have to, you know, be ashamed of or, you know, be depressed about. It's just not a natural part of life.
Yeah.
And then also your healthy lifestyle, because you know, that's what's great about being a health and wellness coach is that you know, it's not like a doctor. You can be a very unhealthy doctor and still make a lot of money as a doctor. But
Mm,
as a health and wellness coach, you know, you have to be an example of health and
yeah.
wellness. And
I
so
I do obviously you do get the pain, you know, as if you're unwell, and at certain times of the month, you know, I did a tracking thing a while ago and that, and you know, you can get your smartwatches now, and I just ordered a new one for myself, and that's so that you can track, which is quite a good thing to do, so that you can recognize what on those actually particular days when you're overtired because your blood is dropped and that, and your temperature and that, because with, as we say, because of the fabric, my speech, because of the fabrics that we're wearing now, I'm very much conscious as well. I'm very much conscious as well, and telling people that, you know, bamboo is like quite good to buy. It's an investment. You know, if you've got a young teenager and Christmas is coming, you know, buy them a pair of bamboo pajamas, and a friend of mine was having an argument the other day and saying, "Oh, why would I want to pay £50 in our money for a pair of pajamas?" And I said, "Well, that's fair enough. Go and pay the £20 one. But if you're going through these up and down stages, which they are, and they're going through the menopause, they are going through the menopause the same as me, then isn't it better to try and find a way healthier to buy two pairs and have them so that you can have the control of it and feel better in the day to go out and do the things that you enjoy, rather than be stuck in a house and thinking I can't go anywhere because I'm so damn hot and wanting to take everything off."
Thank you very much for reminding me. You know what? I thought I was done writing the book on women's health, and you have just reminded me how important it is to be wearing natural fabrics. And this is really good. I'm so glad you brought this up because so many people don't know how important it is. And it's not some, I always tell people that I'm a NASA computer scientist before, when I'm telling them that I'm a holistic healer, because a lot of times people think, oh, you're a holistic healer. You do all this like weird, spiritual stuff, and that it's not based on science, et cetera, et cetera. It's like, no, I have a very logical, scientific mind, and I only adapt things that I believe are logical. It has to be rational. I have to believe in it. But it's been proven that
Yeah,
wearing natural fabrics
it's
is
the
so
same as going to bed. Um, I watched because I shopped online for a while because long before COVID and that on and off. But I do like to go to the shop. But and my mum used to buy very good bedding, the old proper stuff bedding and that, so that the pillows and everything. And then when she died, and I had to buy my own, and I started investing and doing the research and that. And obviously, like I keep thinking, why wasn't it here? But having the fleece bedding, like the microfresh now, that you can get microfresh pillows, and you can also get the mattresses, but also the blankets, that everyone is, even in the summer, can be cold for some people when in the hot things. So I bought these blankets that are a cozy home, and it's like wrapping a baby. And it's like you don't necessarily, everyone's wrapping themselves in electric blankets. But what is that doing to our bodies actually, into our frequencies and our energy levels and that? I'm not convinced. So I bought these blankets over 2 years ago, and I wouldn't hesitate to go and buy another two and another two, and that, and give one to all my friends and all, anyone I know, and say, try it for a month and sleep in this and these bedding and see the difference it makes.
right. Yeah, and I wanted to just explain to everyone why it's so important. Definitely, yes, absolutely. I agree with you to sleep in natural fabrics, and also to, especially like your underwear, like your panties, especially if you have menstrual issues or are going through menopause or anything like that. It should be, ideal, the healthiest fabric, I believe, especially for undergarments, is linen, 100% linen, because it's got a very high vibration. And going into the science of this, high vibrational fabric is very healing. And in Japan, they found that when people who are bedridden, when they use like polyester or basically low vibration or no vibration, polyester has no vibration, those kinds of fabrics in their bedding, they get bed sores, they get more
Yeah,
bed sores.
pressure sores and that, and they could be really nasty on people and that, because obviously my mum was at home, so they bring this, like they bring the mattress and that, so that she has to have the pressure sores and that. And it is quite tough when you're a caregiver, because there's they only have to see one little mark and that, and it's like, oh, she's got a pressure sore on there, and they have to be turned a certain way. And that's where I started when my mum passed, and I started my doing this full time, and the research and everything myself, and going to trainings and hearing other speakers and that. And I would watch like all these different programs on the different fabrics on the clothes and things and everything and that. And to be fair, we can all go to the cheap things and that, and we've all done it. But I think that if you are at an age where you're well over 30, you've got your family, and that it's time to start investing in those things, in your grandparents, to make sure that the world, the way I see it, the world is moving. I'm going into autumn, but we'll come back to summer, and you'll go into your like my brother's going into his summer now because he's on the other side of the world, and you're the same. So you think about your seasons, but your relatives are old and they might still feel the cold in the summer. So they need to have the right fabrics and that. And I think it is important. I mean, if back in the day, if I had an infection or anything, they went in the bin, and I had to buy new. But that's not how we can manage now. And I know that there is an underwear company that actually sells knickers for young women, which you can actually wash and they can use instead of pants, to use pads and that when they're unwell, which I find a bit weird. But then,
and they also have organic, like organic cotton pads and things like that. But back to the Japan story, again, in the Japanese hospitals, they found that when they used 100% linen sheets for their patients who were bedridden, they did not get the bed sores.
Yeah, also, linen is really good.
Also, they found that, doctors and researchers have found that when people wear polyester clothing, especially on their private parts, like the underwear and things like that, it can cause hormonal imbalance, and sometimes even infertility, or aggravate hormonal imbalance. Yeah. And so, especially in your private parts, you want to get, or if you can, 100% organic cotton. I know it's hard to find like linen or in underwear, but and yeah, also myself, when I am when I'm sick, I'll put on my linen clothing, so I try to wear as much linen as possible whenever I'm sick, because I know that, not only getting the proper rest or herbs or diet and nutrition and sunshine, but even the fabric that I wear can either aid my healing or hinder my healing.
Yeah. And it's like tights. I used to wear stockings and that because tights can aggravate it so much. A friend gave me tights the other day and that, and I thought, there's no way I can wear those much and that, not for long periods of time, even as cold as it is, because it's far healthier to not have them. And to be honest, some people in that, I know that for many times, and that my mum used to say, well, is not to wear pants and that, because even pants can be cutting into to older people and that, because they don't have enough time to take them down, and they have accidents and that carries germs and everything, and that can cause all sorts of problems as well down there. So
also more air is good, more circulation, right?
Exactly. I mean, I'm watching all these things, like all these blankets and everything, but I also think that, as you say, that we don't want to be like covered up too much, because we need that air to get our bodies breathing better.
And also when our bodies, especially our private parts, when they're excreting liquids, or fluids, and we're holding it close to our bodies instead of letting it go, that's another issue.
It is,
what our body excretes, it wants to get rid of, and yet we're holding it tight.
That's why I think the Pretty Bamboo and the the underwear that they are selling now, is the fabrics that they are making. The designers are really thinking about the fabrics and that. And yes, okay, it's going to cost a little bit more, whether it's in my money or yours. But I think for me, teaching people now, coaching, if you've got young daughters and that, or young nieces and that, to teach them early, so by the time they get into 18, 16 and that, they have invested in themselves. People invest in their beauty when they go on holidays, and that they invest when when they're going to wherever. So invest in those early days, because in the long term, if they've got it in there, they're going to be used to that and used to invest it, and it's going to be better for the climate as well, because they've bought the good stuff which is going to last, but also to help their wellness and that. And I think it's the same for men. There is stuff coming up for men now as well. This isn't something that is just for women, it's for across the board. And I think that's what we need to raise the awareness for both.
Yes, especially because, one of the biggest issues that men face is with prostate. And so, yeah, the right kind of fabrics can help with that also. Well, thank you so much for your time, Bethany, for talking to me about menopause and menstruation a little bit. And we're going to have you again shortly to talk about the UTI and varicose veins. I know you have experience with that. But before we go today, would you like to leave some contact information in case anyone would like to continue the conversation with you or work with you as with you as a health and wellness coach?
Oh yeah, sure. I'm on LinkedIn and Facebook, and I'm on X, or whichever you want to call it, Twitter. I do have an Instagram, it's just been upgraded, and I have YouTube as well. My podcast is on YouTube, and I'm on LinkedIn. That's my primary place where people want to come and find me, that I'm on. And my email is Bethan, BETHAN, THOMPSON 55@gmail.com. I have a UK number, but sometimes it's easier if they send me a message, and then I can message them back. And I have, I do a lot of Zooms. I use various platforms. We're here on the platform of Zoom and everything. And I love teaching people now and making it and using my lived experience in my personal life, but also into my lived experience. And if I can change someone's health, to help them not to have to go through some of the things that I've had to go through to get to here, because we've got far more, as we said, now that's available to us, to our children and to our families, and to our to grandparents, to your aunties who are aging. It's 6 years since I've lost my mum, and in that 6 years, the world has changed. We've been through COVID, and we are going through a very, very tough time. People are losing people every day. So health is so important for you, yourself, and your family. And if you're not well, if I'm not well, then I'm no good to anyone.
Yeah. And I think I'm so glad that you are an advocate for the elderly. And, we all have to think about, we're all going to get old one day, and we need, the karma, you will reap what you sow. So the way that we treat our elders is going to be, it's going to come back to us in some way, shape, or form, so we have to honor those that came before us and that took care of us when we were helpless. You know what I mean? And so thank you so much for being an advocate for that. That's so important. And have a great weekend. Where it's it's Friday right now as I'm interviewing you. Have a wonderful weekend, and we'll be in touch. Okay.
Okay. Thank you so much for having me today. It's been wonderful. I've really enjoyed it. Thank you so much. Bye-bye. Blessings.
Hi everyone, my name is Ashley Algar and I am the host of Expertise TV, and I'm very excited to be introducing you to our guest today, Mayim Vega. Now, Mayim Vega is a former NASA computer scientist turned holistic healer after facing a very personal health crisis, which the modern medical system could not resolve. In 2009, she founded Arukah.com, which offers an holistic healer certification program focusing on 3 pillars: naturopathic herbalism, holistic life coaching, and online business and marketing to empower people to become holistic healers and achieve maximum impact in the world. Mayim combines her scientific background, natural healing methods, and faith in the creator and great physician to guide others on a path to personal and professional well-being. Mayim, it's clear that you are very passionate about the topic of holistic health and particularly helping people who are wanting to transition into this approach. How did you find yourself in this line of work, and why is this work so important to you?
Thank you, Ashley, for taking the time to speak with me. And I'd love to answer that question. So, the way I found myself in this line of work starts with my story of when I transitioned from becoming a computer scientist at the NASA Ames Research Center to becoming an entrepreneur and building my first online business in digital marketing. And the reason why I did that is so that I could stay at home and be with my newly born son at the time. And now I have 7 children of my own, and I always wanted to homeschool them and just be there for them. And so that's why I became an entrepreneur. But my first few years as an entrepreneur was extremely difficult. And I thought it was healthy, but later on, after all my studies, I realized there were a lot of things that I was doing that was not very healthy. They were not very healthy habits that I had. And what ended up happening was I got really sick, and I thought I was on my deathbed. And I was rushed to the emergency room, and the doctor actually thought that I had a brain tumor. But after extensive testing and examination, she told me that there was nothing wrong with me. I just, I was experiencing a lot of pain, but they had nothing for me. There was nothing they could do for me. She said that she could give me some really strong painkillers, but that's really it. She couldn't really get rid of the problem. And so I took the painkillers, but again, painkillers and any pharmaceutical drug never address the root cause of illness and disease. And that's exactly why this line of work is so important to me, and why I went on my own personal journey to become a holistic healer, to study nutrition, herbalism, holistic health, and holistic life coaching, is because we all know people, and maybe probably even ourselves, who, just like me, went to the modern medical system because that's the expected thing to do. That's a normal thing to do. And, tried to get health and healing that way, but hit a dead end, hit a brick wall, and we either got medications that didn't work, or that only worked for a while, or that caused side effects that were so terrible that we had to get on other medications, plural, and maybe even the medication or medications caused side effects that caused other health issues. And sometimes the health issues are worse than the first problem that you originally had. And we're on this ridiculous roller coaster of drug after drug, after treatment, after procedure, because the modern medical system never addresses the root cause. And medical professionals who have woken up know this. And that's why I have medical professionals in my program, including, doctors, nurses, nurse practitioners, medical technicians, etc., who are learning from me, who are, taking the certification program because they realize that our system is broken and we need to fix it. It is our destiny as humanity to overcome all this nonsense, really. We can do better, and we will do better. I know it. And that's why, in my certification program, sometimes I joke around. No, it's not really a joke, but I say, I'm empowering not just holistic healers, but holistic warriors. We're in a battle. We're in a battle over our own health and healing to safeguard and protect that, and that of our families and friends and community, of course, as well. And we're also in a battle against very powerful people who, because of profits, like to suppress holistic health and healing truths to keep us just sick enough so that we need something, pharmaceuticals, but not well enough to ever get off them. That is truly the goal of big pharma, of the pharmaceutical industry. It's not true. They don't want to heal us. They don't want to cure us. They want to keep us just sick enough so that we keep giving them our money. And you know what? Me personally, I have better things to spend with my money, like on good food, clean herbs, things that don't cause these ridiculous side effects that we experience with pharmaceutical drugs.
Thank you, Mayim. So that brings me to my next question. What are some of the key benefits of transitioning from the conventional healing approach to a holistic approach in health and healing?
Okay, so that's another really great and important question. The key benefits of transitioning from conventional healing to a holistic approach are, right now, I can think of three main reasons. Number one, the holistic approach is safer. Number two, the holistic approach is more effective. And number three, the holistic approach is the true approach that gets to the root cause. Okay. Now, I'd like to illustrate the first point, the safety of holistic medicine. If someone who was taking some, let's say blood pressure medication or something like that, visited me at my house, let's say I invited them over for dinner, and let's say they had to take some of their medicine and they dropped one of their pills, right, in my dining room or in my living room floor. Now, I have very small children. I have a 4-year-old. And what if my 4-year-old found that pill on the floor and thought it was candy or something like that and put it in her mouth and ate it? What would happen? I would immediately have to call the poison control center to get that pill out of her system, because those pills can have deadly side effects. But what if someone dropped a vitamin C pill or a tincture, and one of my children found it? For the most part, if they found it and took it, they might have a little diarrhea. It might be really spicy on their tongue, and so they would stop taking it. But no, I wouldn't have to control the poison control center, because vitamins and herbs and minerals are extremely, like 1,000 times safer than pharmaceutical drugs. There's a few types of, supplements that you might have to call the poison control center, but for the most part, no, you won't have to do that, because our body knows how to work with those substances. It is not a drug. It is a healing tool. Okay. So completely safe. Also, exercise, diet, those are all safe, right? Sleep, those are all part of holistic health and healing. Completely safe, zero side effects. Now, let's talk about the effectiveness. The holistic approach is more effective. And the reason why we know this is because in my practice, and this is the experience of many holistic healers, when it comes to the conventional ways with the pharmaceutical drugs, as I said before, they don't deal with the root cause. They just mask symptoms. So, you might take a cough suppressant, let's say, for example, but if you are not dealing with the root cause, why are you coughing in the first place? Why do you have allergies? Why do you have the flu, etc.? Why is your immune system not strong enough to overcome this in just a few hours or just a day or two, overnight? Why? Because you have not built up your immune system. You haven't boosted it or lived the kind of life that you need to in order to avoid those common illnesses altogether. I have one of my students is a medical doctor, and she said that she used to take anti-allergy drugs every single week because of her allergies. The allergy drugs don't boost your immune system. They just suppress it. They just oppress your allergy symptoms. But when you have allergy symptoms, it's your body talking to you and telling you, hey, I can't deal with this. I can't deal with this thing that you're eating or this environment that you've just stepped into because of my state of being. I'm not strong enough. That's what your immune system is saying to you. But I taught her a really powerful vitamin protocol that actually boosts your immune system so that your immune system is strong enough to overcome allergies. And so that's the difference. It is effective because it is true. It is true holistic health and healing because it strengthens your immune system. It doesn't silence it, like I said before. And the third issue is the root cause. Holistic health and healing deals with the root cause, and the conventional approach of drugs and surgery, etc., does not. That doesn't mean that you sometimes don't need surgery, for example, or in an emergency situation need a drug, but you're not dealing with the root cause. And if you deal with the root cause, you can make your problems either go away or become extremely minimal, safely, effectively, and naturally without poisoning your body and causing the roller coaster of side effects.
Mayim, you have developed an incredible program that you've already mentioned called the Arukah Holistic Healer Certification Program, which you have specifically created for those looking to either transition into the holistic approach or for those who are wanting to grow in their knowledge and practice. Can you talk us through what differentiates this program from other similar programs that are currently out there?
Thank you, Ashley. Yes, the certification program at Arukah.com is really, truly incredible. And there's a few things that set it apart, actually, many things, but I'd like to focus on a few. And one of them is that when I designed the program, I designed it for someone who is in my situation many years ago, someone who was a busy mom who had a lot of work to do and, a lot of things on her plate, but still wanted to empower herself with the knowledge of holistic health and healing for herself, for her family, so she could take care of her family, and maybe even build a career where, very specifically, she could stay at home and, just like me, be a stay-at-home mom. And, even a homeschool mom. I've been a homeschool mom. My oldest is 20 now, and I homeschooled him the whole way. And he's already graduated college, and he's got a computer science degree, and he's an entrepreneur himself. I instilled that dream in him. So being able to, I was able to surpass my income at NASA, and still homeschool my children. It's pretty awesome achievement. And so I wanted to empower people in my program to do exactly the same as I've done, to become a holistic healer, to have a successful online business so that they can have time freedom, location freedom, and financial freedom, meaning that there's no glass ceiling. No one who you need to get a raise from. You just have to help people. That's how I get paid, is when I help people, right? And so that's one of the advantages. Another advantage is it's very hands-on and apprenticeship based. And you could go to a college to study to become a naturopathic doctor or another holistic professional like a chiropractor. But it's going to take a lot more money, and a lot more time as well. This program can be completed in 1 year, but because, all of my students pretty much are busy professionals already, or busy moms, it's self-paced. So, if you have a lot of things on your plate, it's okay. It's still going to be there for you. There's not like a time limit. You're not going to, your grade's not going to be lowered because you submit an assignment late or anything like that. It's self-paced. And so I've designed it for the busy mom or the working woman. And another thing that sets it apart is we have three core pillars in our program. One is that our students study naturopathic herbalism, and that takes up the bulk of our program. And naturopathic herbalism includes studying the foundations of holistic health and healing, identifying toxins and detoxification, also nutrition and orthomolecular nutrition or megadose vitamin therapy, as well as herbalism, which includes also homeopathy and aromatherapy with essential oils. And also they study Ayurveda and traditional Chinese medicine. But it's mostly focused on Western medicine, Western herbalism, excuse me. And then the next core pillar, the second one, is holistic life coaching. And the reason why holistic life coaching is part of the program is to incorporate the mind spirit aspect of it, right? If herbs and supplements are the alternative to pharmaceutical drugs, well, holistic life coaching is like the holistic alternative to psychiatry. It deals with the mind and the spirit, and spirit has to be part of it because we are spiritual beings. We're not just physical beings. We're also spiritual beings. Now, a lot of holistic health and healing schools are based on, different religions, New Age, or, other pagan religions. And this program, because I'm Jewish, is based on the Creator. It's based on the Bible and biblical principles, Judeo-Christian principles. And so therefore, I have a lot of people who are of that faith persuasion, Jews, Christians, or people who maybe, they don't really identify as Jewish or Christian, but they're open to it, or they grew up in that faith. And they don't necessarily want all the new age spirituality. They want the kind of spirituality that they are comfortable with and used to. That's another thing that sets us apart. And life coaching is all about mindset and how to have healthy relationships with yourself, with others. Of course, also, with food and your body and lifestyle. Holistic life coaching encompasses all of that. And it's a very important part of holistic health and healing, especially because stress is often the root cause of many illnesses, common illnesses, and also chronic diseases. So, that mind and spirit aspect is very important. And the third aspect is online business marketing. And again, the reason why that's important is because, as I told you, I really want my students to thrive and to be able to, have that time freedom, location freedom, and financial freedom, which an online business provides. But also because, there's not a lot of jobs for herbalists, or life coaches even. And so we really have to be entrepreneurial. And it's very, very rewarding. And because of my background, with my digital marketing business, my first business, I can really help people in that department.
Thanks so much, Mayim. So I love the power of testimony and hearing people's personal experiences or journeys. Can you share some of the success stories that might be coming to mind or testimonials from past students?
Yes, we certainly have a lot of success stories and testimonials, and we'll show some of those testimonials at the end of our talk today in this video. But I could talk about a few of them that are maybe recent. One of them is one of my students. She told me that she wanted to become a nutritionist, but I guess her life's journey didn't really allow for that. So when she heard about my program, my certification program, when it first launched, she joined, and she really wanted to help her husband, who had been suffering from colitis under the care of doctors for about 20 years, ever since he was in the military. And he was going from medication to medication and, suffering with diarrhea and insomnia and restless legs and indigestion and, all these terrible things that colitis can cause. And so I actually created a custom module for her to help her husband with that. And in 2 months, she helped her husband get off the medication and heal from colitis using food and herbs and natural holistic healing methods. So that was a great accomplishment for her. And I get people, contacting me saying that I helped them grow their hair back, or actually someone said, "Oh, you helped save you helped save a little girl's life," just beautiful, wonderful things like that. You helped me heal my daughter, you helped me grow, regrow my teeth so I don't have pain from cavities anymore, like just all these wonderful testimonies. And that's the reason why I love doing what I do. And and you will too, if you join the program. It's so rewarding and fulfilling to understand and to know that you are helping people, truly helping people in ways that they can't get in the modern medical system. It's so rewarding.
Incredible. Thank you so much for sharing that, Mayim. I can only imagine the sense of reward when people start applying these principles to their lives and actually see a change and transformation. And for somebody as passionate as you are around this topic, to witness that and to be a part of that, I imagine that the reward is priceless. So another common question that arises is, once someone completes the program, what are some of the practical steps one would take in order to start a successful career in holistic health?
Okay, that's a great question. And that's actually what the third pillar of our program is all about is, what do you do? Practical steps and what you would do to start a successful career in holistic health. And in that program, we teach our students how to create a high ticket transformational health coaching program that really helps people deal with a serious a problem, a serious health issue. And that doesn't mean that it's a deadly, problem, but it can be something that really affects their life, right? Even skin disorders can really affect your life, right? Even though it's not necessarily deadly. Weight loss could be something that is dealing with a serious issue. There's so many different types of health coaching programs that one can make, anxiety, depression, hormonal issues, etc. So they build, it's part of the program. They will do this while they're still in the program, and we'll support them the whole way, is to build that first high ticket health coaching program, and then set up their online assets, such as their website, their social media, a video sales letter, press releases, podcasts, all those things that online entrepreneurs need in order to connect with people, get their message of health and healing out there, and build and grow and scale their business.
Thank you so much, Mayim. It's been so great talking with you today. But before we close, for those that would like to get started on the journey to becoming an holistic healer and wanting to learn a little bit more about the certification program, how do they go about contacting you?
Yes, it's been wonderful talking to you today as well. And for all those who would like to get started on their journey to become a holistic healer and learn more about the certification program, all they need to do is visit the website, www.arukah.com, ARUKAH.com, and dig into that and schedule a discovery call. And I would love to be your mentor, your health coach, your teacher in guiding you to become a holistic healer, to become the healer of your home and your family and your community, and to help you build a profitable online health coaching business.
Wonderful. Thanks so much, Mayim. So there we have it, folks. If you are ready to move forward in your own journey of becoming a holistic healer, then you can visit the website at www.arukah.com, where you can schedule your first discovery call. Thanks so much for joining us. It's been an absolute pleasure.